So in this photograph, we have a Romani woman who is being interviewed by a police officer and a specialist in criminal biology from the Reich Criminal Police Office. I generally share this photograph to, one, highlight and or unpack the police officer's role in this. So with asking the question, what is the ordinary function of the police officer in this image? Ordinary function of the police officer in this image, he's accompanying or escorting a bureaucrat, to bring him in to find this woman, to talk to her. He could be there to detain her if need be. He can be there to make sure that she's comfortable to talk, because this photograph was taken in 1936. So this woman still would see the police as legitimate. He also has local authority. He has the local knowledge. So he knows where she lives. He knows the area. She may also know him and or know that uniform. This right here make her feel comfortable enough to talk to this man. Because if this guy just comes up to her door, knocks on the door, hey, ma'am, I need you to answer these questions. You're not the police. I don't need to talk to you. But with the policeman there, this makes this an official visit. So his ordinary functions, escorting this guy, making sure that she complies, and making sure that she feels comfortable. But with the man on the right, the specialist in criminal biology, we think of, what does that mean? What his role is to not determine that this woman has committed a crime. Her crime is who she is. She's considered criminal based on Nazi eugenics, and theories of criminality. This is why this image is important. So when I ask police to tell me, what the function is and what the purpose that's changing, is the police officer, his role begins to change because he's accompanying this guy, or he's escorting this guy to speak to this woman, not because she's suspected of any wrongdoing. They're questioning her solely because of who she is. That's what makes her criminal, now based on this Nazi theory of criminology. So when we look back at the photo, right, if you look at the look on her face, she looks like she's pleading to them. Like we don't know what's going on or what's being exchanged exactly, but we can see the agony in her face. That she's trying to explain to them something. And this gentleman on the right just has his notepad, taking these notes. That policeman right there in the middle, he's a rural police officer. He's a gendarmerie. He has a writing prop right there in his right hand. So what the police bring to partnerships like this is knowledge of the area, knowledge of the people. But his role there is to make sure, again, that she feels comfortable. But something's changing here, and this woman does look distraught. Photographs are extremely important in the work that I do with the police because when I'm sharing certain images with them, I want them to understand the slippery slope that police went down, from prior to Hitler coming into power, from being neutral professionals to once we get up to around 1942, when police officers are being used to murder civilians. So how do they get to that point? From 1933 to 1942, from being neutral to then killing women and children in pits. How does it get to that point? So throughout our images, I share, the steps or the moments where that slippery slope begins and opportunities throughout in which they could have made different choices. Because often people say or they think that, hey, it was their job, they had to do it. It was the law, they had to enforce it. Enforcing an unjust law is a conscious decision. That's something especially something like opening fire on a pit of civilians. That's something that cannot be tied with ordinary police work. So where do their jobs go from being ordinary to being something like that?